Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Sunday. It's bright and early. Daily discipline. Mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through. We do this in order to conquer PTSD. We do this in order to get over the traumas from the past. We do this in order to conquer addiction. We do this in order to become stronger every single goddamn day. Why do we do this? Because we have to. Every Sunday I take 6 or 8 or 10 quotes, however many we can get through. I try to just hit them briefly, give stuff for my hardcore heads out there to think about. Just a little extra. A lot of you people don't need extra stuff to think about. You don't need a video on Sunday, then just go back to sleep and cuddle. But some of us are working out today. Some of us are studying today. Some of us are gonna grind today. We're gonna do it tomorrow. We did it yesterday. That's the difference between a warrior and a weakling. The first thing that I wrote down that I want to talk about is just a quote that I thought was interesting. I forget who said it. It might have been Jordan Peterson. I like Jordan Peterson a lot. Success is the realization of a worthy ideal. Oh, that was interesting. We often wonder what success is. Success can mean different things for different people, and when you start adhering to another person's ideal of success, it's torture. If you think success is wealth, you'll never be successful until you're rich. Maybe you don't even understand what success is. I know lots of rich people, and they're not all happy. All that crap they buy doesn't make them happy. Those mega mansions have expensive utility bills. You know how much electricity costs on a mega mansion? No, I'm sure you don't. It's more than what you pay on your mortgage right now is probably what it is. Are you ready for that kind of stress? More money, more problems. Success may not be wealth. If success isn't just simply getting rich, then what is success? Well, success is the realization of a worthy ideal. You may not ever be able to accomplish it because an ideal very often is something that is lofty and conceptual and above us. So perfect that nobody could be that way. That's why God is kind of an ideal. Jesus was kind of an ideal. Nobody can be like Jesus. But you damn well better be trying. I don't know what you're doing today, but you better be fucking trying. A worthy ideal could be something simple. Every single man can attain success if they find a worthy ideal to realize, to go after. A worthy goal. What's a worthy goal? Helping people. Raising your family. Loving those around you. Treating other people with respect. Following the golden rule. You could do simple shit like that and die a successful man. Got to start rethinking success, simplify success. Let's go to the next one. I may have mentioned this before. I'll mention it again. Pay attention to your persistent dreams. It's really important. Your mind may be trying to tell you something. So pay attention to those persistent dreams. I thought this was interesting. You can't be in learning mode, in your inquisitive mode, your studious mode. You can't be in your learning mode. That's your open-minded mode. When you're learning, you're open. You can't be in your learning mode and your fight or flight mode at the same time. That's interesting. That's scientific. So if you can't be in both at the same time, then therefore, by logic, the way that you could snap out of your fight or flight mode, which you get into when you're triggered and you have PTSD, many of us live in the world of fight or flight. It's torture. You can snap out of that through learning. You want to snap out of your anxiety attack? Go watch a video. Go read a book. Go think. Think about something. Think about philosophy instead of fighting. I find outside source material that we absorb to be good for this type of tactic, because if you just sit there and think, maybe you're fighting against yourself, you're fighting against the thoughts that you're thinking. But if you try to absorb material, you read, you will quickly snap out of the fight or flight mode and go into a different part of your brain. Your brain starts firing literally on a different side. I wrote this down, not really well versed on it, but let's hash it out. Fear is your distance from love. So what is fear? How do we define fear? How do we analyze fear? You want to describe fear to somebody. How do you even describe it? If you were to tell an alien from another planet, we have two main emotions, love and fear, and all other emotions kind of stem from those. And they say, well, what is fear? Is it just simply the opposite of love? That's how it's defined, as just the opposite of love? But it's a distance from love. The further away that you are from love, the more afraid that you are. The way that you dispel fear is by moving closer towards love. You can do this within self-love. I thought this was an interesting statement, one that I had to write down to think about because I didn't really fully get it. ADHD is a survival mechanism. Isn't that interesting? ADHD, being kind of scatterbrained, unable to focus, that's a survival mechanism. Is it a mental game that our brain plays on us so we don't have the time or the opportunity to focus in on triggers and traumas, to focus in on pain? Our mind purposefully scatters our thoughts. Like we're trying to herd cats. I have ADHD and it can be awfully hard to focus sometimes, and I wonder, what is this about? Why does my brain do this to me? It feels like it's doing it to me because I fight against it. But if you're realizing maybe it's a survival mechanism, then maybe ADHD is almost akin to an injury. We have to start rethinking how we look at ADHD. I have a chapter in the book that I just wrote, The Art of Survival, Building Strength Through Suffering, all about ADHD, and I give some tips and tricks on how to manage it. Go to my website at skyazrael.com, and you follow the link. I'll send you chapter 1 for free. Check it out. Here's some good advice. Never debate with somebody who despises you. Never waste your time. Don't even bother. Don't even bother. You don't need to convince them of nothing. They don't believe what you believe. They don't see your side. So what? Who cares? Just keep on going. Don't even associate with people that don't like you. Don't have them in your world. Those are your enemies. And you don't sit there and debate with your fucking enemies. Fuck you, motherfucker. You may be wasting your time online debating with people that hate your guts. You may have people in your family that you constantly bicker with. These motherfuckers don't like you. Stop trying to convince them into anything. Just get away from them. Here's some basic advice. Don't walk away from growth just to fit in. Some of you people are so desperate to fit into groups that you're avoiding your own personal growth. You can't grow and stay. You have to choose one. Let's talk about failing repeatedly. I failed so many times in my life, and it can torture me. I can look at that as a real scar. I'm a loser. Everything I do sucks. I'm the opposite of King Midas. Everything I do turns to shit. King Midas wasn't he the one where everything he touches turns to gold? Everything I touch turns to shit. I can take the most easy hustle that everybody's getting rich off of and not make a dime. I could go up to the biggest whore in town who fucks anyone and she'd just be like, no thanks. I had a friend of mine who actually that had happened to him. That's never happened to me, but that happened to a friend of mine. It was so sad. It was funny. He was kind of an incel and having a hard time getting laid, and it was torturing him. This was in Los Angeles, in Hollywood. It was really, really, really bumming him out. I tried to calm him down and be like, it doesn't really matter, man. Why are you so focused on cheap sex? Just focus on yourself, you know. But he wanted to get laid. He wanted some pussy. So we were all sitting around and we were like, well, if you want a piece of ass, that's all it is. You just want to get your fucking dick wet. Go up to Sunset Strip. That's where all the hookers are. It's the most famous hooker fucking spot in Hollywood. They got hot hookers up there too. You drive by Sunset Strip on a good day and see all those prostitutes. They'll be real hot chicks, better looking than your girlfriend, and they're just walking the street. It's terrible. So he goes up there, money in his pocket, excited. This is a sure thing. These hookers were scattered like water bugs, seeing him coming. He came back, he's like, I walked up and down Hollywood in Sunset Strip for 4.5 hours. Not a single hooker would do anything. And I was like, man, it's just not meant to be for you. But we all have our stories of failure. What's your story of failure? What it really is a story of your limit. Your failure is your limit. You found your limit. I learned this in the gym. Be comfortable at your limit. When you are trying to become strong, you have to find your breaking point. Because your breaking point is where your breakthrough is. Don't be embarrassed to have a limit. Everybody has a limit. Let's go to the next one. You know what it means to love your enemy? What if your enemy was sent by God as a blessing? You know, to help you level up. It's a test, motherfucker. Not all our blessings are angels. I don't know why you would think that. You got to see the game that's being played. God is grooming you for greatness. He's testing you. It's all a test. Let's do one more. I got another couple pages, but here's a good piece of advice. Always be on time, always. I hate motherfuckers who are not on time. If you are late for an appointment, done. I will be done with you instantly. If you're late with an appointment for me, you lost. You lost the game. I do not hire people who are late. I do not work with people who are late. You better be early, motherfucker, on time. If we have a date and you show up late, I'm thinking about dumping your ass. You better have a fucking excuse. I am never late for anything, and I don't think, honestly, I don't think I've ever been late for anything. I'd have to really sit and think. Maybe you're like, how could you have never been late? I don't know if I've ever been late for anything ever in my life. I'd have to really think. I'm sure I have been. Everybody's been late, you would think. I just can't think of a single time ever. It's an incredibly important value to me. And I'm not kidding about this. You may be snickering. I am not kidding. This is absolutely important to me. I never show up anywhere late. Always be where you're supposed to be. Be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. This is a practice in being at the right time at the right place. Learn to be at the right time at the right place. It's where all the fucking magic happens. Thanks for watching.